Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to do a recap of the third season of the anime series called Scissor-7. In order to protect the residents of Chicken Island and the peaceful life there, Seven and his partners Daibo and Xiao Fei embark on an adventure to Swanwu to find the truth about his past and a way to save the island. At a restaurant in Swanwu, three assassin patrons talk about the demise of Red Tooth at the hands of a barber at Chicken Island. Instantly, they're dealt with by another assassin who uses a spider lily flower to exsanguinate them. 5 days before Seven leaves the island, Seven gives Uncle Chen a new hairstyle and then plays with Cola. Lizard, who is also there, is instructed by Seven to act as Cola's guardian whenever she's bullied. Meanwhile, in Swanwu, the Shadow Killers learn of Red Tooth's demise and the leader seeks to send more assassins there to deal with the targets and Seven. As it so turns out, an assassin named Yo-Yo enters the islands and tries to cause a scene, but his plans are foiled by Seven. He later enjoys some beef offal with Shu Daliu and that evening runs his own beef offal stand in the park. Watching him from afar is 13 and soon Blue Phoenix, who says she's allowed to see him one more time before he leaves the island. With the money he earned that day, Seven uses it to pay Miracle Doctor's expensive medical bill. Not long afterward, Seven fights against the assassin Bamboo Dragon and defeats him. Seven looks at the token from his past and recalls the words that Blue once told him after he defeated Red Tooth. As assassins head to the island, Seven encounters one named Lei Yan and tells him to give a message to his superiors. He's coming to Swanwu to deal with the higher-ups who get the message and place a massive bounty on his head. A wounded Seven is pursued in a forest by a few assassins, which turns out to be a nightmare had by Daibo, who awakens in Miracle Doctor's clinic. Daibo then rushes out of the place and learns from the former quartet of assassins that Seven has a massive bounty on his head. Returning to the salon, Daibo finds that Seven's old outfit is missing and a flashback from 2 years ago plays. Seven, fascinated with his old outfit, is told its history by Daibo. They then head into town to set up their beef offal stand, and on the way, Daibo tails Miracle Doctor, who he believes has something valuable in his possession. It turns out, it's a large diamond and Daibo wants to take it for himself. Meanwhile, Seven serves Xiaolong some beef offal until Daibo claims he's been poisoned by the Miracle Doctor for not keeping up with their payments. Seven believes him and Daibo orders him to help him steal a box that contains the antidote. That night, Seven breaks into Miracle Doctor's clinic, and while trying to steal the box, he falls through a trapdoor. To escape, he has to solve some puzzle. Somehow, Seven manages to escape, and find the room where the box is and where Miracle Doctor is also at. The Miracle Doctor stands in front of a furnace with his face that turns out to be a mask on a table beside him. Seeing this, Seven is perplexed and is soon joined by Daibo, who followed because he thought Seven had found the box and kept it for himself. Seven then tries to steal the box but is faced by Miracle Doctor and his remote control that controls a bunch of pillar traps on the furnace he was standing on. Back in the present, Daibo finishes telling the story to Xiao Fei as the two rides a boat to pursue their friend Seven. Disguised as a fish, Seven sneakily tries to kill another fish so he can eat it, but is in the process almost killed by an even bigger one. Somehow, however, he manages to kill it, and after killing and eating it, sees an island in his sight and has his raft propeller accelerate him to his destination. The island turns out to be Dali and is inhabited by a bunch of gorgeous women. Briefly blaming Miao Kai for his dilemma, he immediately forgives him due to the presence of the lovely ladies. One of the ladies gives him a coconut spiked with a sleeping agent, and he later wakes up in a prison cell with Kai, who informs him of their predicament. In order to get out of their imprisonment, Seven must assassinate the Prince of Beauty to lift the curse laid upon the people of the island with his magic mirror. Confident that he'd be able to do it with Kai by his side, Seven asks him where his guitar is and learns that he lost it at sea, which puts the two in a morose position. Eventually, the two are joined by Daibo and Xiao Fei, and thanks to Daibo, they escape from their imprisonment. They soon confront the so-called Prince of Beauty, who uses his mirror on Kai to transform his face and manipulate him to his will. They fight and free Kai of his magic, who then sings a sad yet poignant that touches the prince's heart, and he reveals the way to break his curse. Eventually, all of the island inhabitants have their faces restored and give them a new raft to sail away on. Kai stays on Dali Island and befriends the former prince, while Seven is now accompanied by Daibo and Xiao Fei. On the day that Seven left the island, 13 waited for him on the beach wearing the dress he picked out for her. She's soon joined by her older sister Plum Blossom 11, who strikes up a conversation with her. 13 reveals that members of the Flying Bird sect are after 11 because she stole some kung fu books from them. 11 enlists the help of Dachun to deal with her father. When asked where they're heading, 11 answers that it's to the Plum Blossom Villa in Swanwu. While on their way, 3 members of the Flying Bird sect arrive, and 11 is caught by 2 of the members, leaving Dachun to face off against the remaining member. Dachun defeats his opponent and has him lead them to the Flying Bird sect base. At the base, 11 is confronted by the acting leader of the group Base Waxia and the other members of the Flying Bird sect. and it's decided that 11 should be executed. Dachan arrives and deals with them and manages to defeat Bei with his solid as gold 7-day lock move. 11 returns their stolen book and reveals that Bei gave it to her as a way to court her and leaves with Dachan. As dusk starts to settle, the two have a heart-to-heart on a hillside and Dachan claims he'll be her protector. 7 and the group mistakenly land on the island of Rock Hard. It's also believed to be the hometown of Dachan. Because of Dai Bo's smart mouth, 7 is forced to participate in a series of challenges against Chen Bobby, the island leader, with Dai Bo and Xia Fei's life on the line. 7 is losing and he tries to strike a deal with Chen Bobby, claiming he's friends with Dachan, but Chen Bobby refuses the deal and reveals he's the one who expelled Dachan from the island. Furious by this revelation, 7 uses the same technique that Red Tooth once used on Dachan. Chen Bobby fights back but 7 is armed with his chi scissors. Chen Bobby surrenders to him. Before the group leaves on the raft given to them that'll allow them to finally reach their destination of Swanwu, Chen Bobby gives them his treasure, which is golden protein powder. Riding their raft into a mysterious swamp, the group once again arrives in the wrong country. 7 and Dai Bo are captured by a boy named Pingin'S. Pingin'S abilities are explained and he asks why are the two invading the superpower country. Later, 7 cuts Pingin'S hair and chats with him about his hopes to reach Swanwu. They then learn that a month ago, a beggar from Swanwu landed on the island. The person in question just so happens to be Cheap Life Huwa. Sitting by a fire, 7 learns a bit about Huwa'S past with Swanwu, how he dug a tunnel to escape the place and offers to tell him the location of the tunnel for a haircut. 7 instantly agrees to it, however, is cut off when a ship from Stan arrives. Once the ship lands, the Prince of Stan and Kola exit from it. Pingin'S and his friends attack him but are subdued, questioned by the prince as to why he attacked him, and Pingin'S answers that periodically, envoys of Stan come to the country and capture his friends for their experiments. 7 intervenes and start to fight Prince. During the fight, Kola gets unintentionally injured by the prince. Promised to be healed by the children, the prince stops and wonders if he did the wrong thing. 7 sits by the fireplace with Cheap Life Huwa and Dai Bo as the Prince of Stan sits on a ship waiting to hear news about Kola's condition. Pingin'S informs the group that Kola's condition is dire and the only way to save her is to get some black jade paste, a type of medicine from the Shenong nation. The prince immediately sets off to get it. However, Huwa has some of the paste back in his house at Swanwu and is quicker to get than the prince's way. Taking the tunnelway that Huwa launches them through, 7 and Dai Bo quickly reach Swanwu and get involved with a man being pursued by a group of men. All but the leader of the group that chased the man flee the scene after seeing 7's Shadow Killer's token. The leader is defeated by the man, and the man gives them directions to Huwa's house, which is a very large mansion in the center of town. Once they're there, they meet a pair of guards that refuse to let them into the penthouse of their master. They are restrained by guards but are rescued by the man they saved earlier, who reveals that his name is Ouyang Zan. As it turns out, Zan's master was killed by 7 in the past and he seeks to get revenge against him. Back down on the ground, Dai Bo reflects on what their last mission was like when they tried to steal the miracle doctor's diamond. He's shocked to see that 7 wants to continue onward without them so they don't have to get injured any further. 7 then sends them on their way and then asks for directions to an eagle statue. 7 finally reaches the eagle statue where Blue Phoenix told him to meet him at. Instead, 7 meets 13, who was given her own mission by her master to stab 7 with a special dagger, and if she fails, she'll be disowned by her master. She does so, but it doesn't kill him. To make matters even more turbulent, an assassin known as the Eyeless Mage appears and tries to assassinate 7. During the fight, the mage reveals to 7 that 2 years ago he killed Swanwu's most prized animal. The mage failed to stop him those years ago, but he plans to rectify the problem in the present. 13 helps 7 and he goes into his beast mode. The mage escapes and 13 stays behind still in a shocked daze. Meanwhile, 7 screams as a light purple beam of light shoot into the sky, signaling high-ranking assassins of his location. In a forest, 7 in his beast mode is chased and attacked by assassins. A weak and wounded 7 trudges through the forest as it rains, and recalls the hair salon he once worked at on Chicken Island. He then reaches an old and ruined store and takes shelter there from the rain. There, 7 dreams that he's back on Chicken Island's beach with his friends and they all have a water gun fight together. An assassin comes there and confesses that he's a big fan of his, and recounts his most memorable achievements. Before the assassin could make a move against 7, who is too weak to even stand, 13 appears and blows the assassin away with a single move. 13 confesses that the pain he's feeling is from the black ice dagger that she stabbed him with earlier. The two talk. When 13 falls asleep, 7 leaves, not wanting to endanger her. He is watched by Blue Phoenix, who notes that 7 is the first person to survive the toxins from the black ice dagger for so long. Soon, 7 reaches a giant statue where he's then confronted by a lady assassin who calls him her lover. Confronted by a mysterious woman from his past named Manjusaka, another assassin named Blackbird appears. The man is one of the former leaders of the Flying Bird sect appears that's after the big bounty on Seven's head. 13 arrive to help. Seven asks her to leave but she stays. She then faces off against Blackbird. During the fight, 13 tries to flee with 7 on her bird but realizes that Blackbird is able to fly because he was a part of the Flying Bird sect. Blackbird and 13. Blackbird attacks her, sending her and 7 back to the ground. 13 gets back up and defiantly refuses to surrender and continues the fight with Blackbird. Meanwhile, 7 recalls more memories from his past with his interactions with the girl in white. 13 manages to defeat Blackbird with the help of 7's 1,000 demon daggers. And that's all for today, guys. If you like the recap and want more summaries like this, consider subscribing to our channel.